Today, we're making potato soup. So as you can see, we've got fall decorations behind us. There's pumpkins everywhere. My wife's got more mums than you can imagine. And with fall comes soup season. It's still 90 degrees out when my wife starts asking for this soup. We love potato soup. It's not very difficult to make. If you do it right, there's so much flavor there. And I'm gonna show you the way that I do it and a few techniques that I use that really get a lot of the flavors out of these ingredients here. So let's get started. Now, the first thing we need for this recipe is some good thick cut bacon. We want some good thick cut stuff. We're gonna slowly render this down and that's gonna start building the flavor for this, this soup. This is gonna be the fat that we're gonna start with. And we're gonna be cutting this into little lardons. So we're gonna take it, cut this, and again, this is some thick stuff. We're gonna be cutting it into even sized pieces here with a decent bite. Now you gotta remember with bacon, this has a lot of fat in it. It's gonna shrink up. So cut it a little bit bigger than what you want it to end with. We're gonna use that as the base of this soup, and then we're going to remove the bacon and we're gonna top our soup at the end with it. And this is the first thing I like to do because I like to take a while, like I said, slowly cook this down to get things started. Got this pot sitting over some medium-low heat. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of separate these little pieces so they're not sticking together as they cook. We're gonna throw it in the pan here. All right, anything sticking together will get separated as it starts to cook. And with bacon, I always like to start it in a cold pan. You don't want it to be too hot before you put it in there. That bacon fat needs some time to render down properly, so put it in there. Then we're gonna stir this every minute or so and just make sure we've got some even cooking going on. All right, now the next step, we're gonna go ahead and peel these potatoes. That's gonna take a few minutes, so I like to get that started. And as we cut these up, we're gonna wanna put them in a little bowl of water. If you leave these potatoes out in the air for too long, they're gonna oxidize, which is fine for eating, but they're gonna have a really nasty looking brown color. And as you know, I always say you eat with your eyes first, so we really wanna make sure we keep these looking fresh, and that's gonna help with a few other things as well. All right, so we've got our bowl of water. Get a little paper towel here to collect our scraps. And again, as we're cutting these, we're gonna make sure we keep stirring this. It's gonna be a common theme for this soup. It's got a lot of ingredients that can burn, so we're gonna have to keep a watchful eye over this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and even these up. The ends here aren't gonna cut even, and like I said in the beginning, we really want evenly sliced potatoes. Now we're just gonna go ahead and peel them. Wait on that one. Now that I'm done with one, I'm gonna go ahead and set the whole thing in the water there so it can get covered up. All right, now that we have our potatoes peeled, we're gonna slice them. I mentioned this a few times already, but we really want to get an even cut for each of these cubes. I don't like my cubes to be too thick. I like to be just a perfect bite size. You can go a little bit thicker if you want to, but the main thing is that they're all pretty uniform in size so that they're all done. You don't want some that are starting to disintegrate because they're overcooked. Whenever the thicker ones are just now cooked, this vice versa, you don't want the bigger ones to be undercooked and be really tough whenever you're biting into it. So just try to keep that in mind. Whatever size you go with, keep it uniform. So for me, that's about how big I want it. I don't want it to be too big, but enough that you can get a good bite, but it's not taking up your entire spoon whenever you're going to eat on it. So we're gonna try to keep them all about that size. And put it right into the bowl. Next thing we're gonna need is some diced yellow onion and some 4 or 5 cloves of garlic here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this onion up. We're gonna go with half an onion for this recipe. Cut it in half, cut the end off of it here. Get it peeled back. The quicker you can do this, the less likely you are to cry. All right, so make a few cuts this way. One down the middle. Now we got some garlic. I'm gonna take 4 or 5 cloves here. Give it a quick smash and it should start breaking apart. Give it another quick smash and then the final bits of the skin will pop off there. Now I'm gonna use a garlic press. If I'm doing more than just a couple, I usually use that, but we're gonna get into a fine little mince here. Now we just need to finish cooking this bacon and we'll be good to go to the next step. So this bacon's about done. This is right where I want it. Everything looks nice and rendered without being overly cooked. So now we just need to drain it onto some paper towels. We're gonna reserve this. A lot of people I've seen when I made this in the past have said, why don't you just cook everything with it in there? To me, I like the bacon to have its texture still once we're ready to actually eat, so I'll add it last. Now, of course, we want that bacon flavor throughout the dish, so we're gonna leave that bacon grease in there, as long as it's not an excessive amount, which it's not today. And all those little bits and pieces there, all of that is flavor. That's just, all of that on the bottom there is flavor. We're leaving all that. We've got it onto a medium heat. We're gonna go ahead and start with this onion. We're gonna throw it right in, let that cook down for about a minute. Ooh, I made a mess. Yikes. We're gonna let that cook down for about a minute. We're gonna add the garlic, let that start cooking down. And then we're gonna start building this soup out. I'm gonna move this away. Now the hardest part is to not just eat all of this while it's sitting here like that. Try to use patience here. You're gonna be happy you have it later on. Now the reason we don't wanna go ahead and add this garlic, it gets tender and where we want it a lot quicker than the onions, so we're gonna wait about a minute before we add that. And then once they're both nice and tender, we're gonna start with adding some flour. It's gonna start building a roux so we can make this a thicker soup, but we need to let this cook first. In the meantime, get it? In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling off a few of these thyme leaves. Because I do like using fresh thyme in this. Now all you do is you grab a stem and you just kind of pull it long ways and the leaves should fall off and you can keep them separate. Now after a minute or so, we're gonna go ahead and add this garlic in. Give that a good stir. And this is something that just already smells amazing. It's so nice to come home and have this smell whenever you walk in after a long day. Now with anything, we want to season throughout the entire cooking process, not just at the beginning or the end. So we're going to go ahead and start seasoning it with this Grove beef rub. Now this has, the base of this is salt, pepper, garlic, onion. That's what I usually would season this with, so this is kind of all in one bottle for us. It's really a good way to season this dish. So we're gonna season a little bit now. It's gonna toast up some of that pepper and some of those other spices in there. And of course, we're gonna finish with it as well. But let this start cooking down. This is starting to get close now. You can see that color we're getting. That's what we're looking for, and it's starting to get nice and soft. Now we're gonna take these thyme leaves and just give them a quick chop. Okay. All right, now this is where we want it. It's been about 4 minutes. The next step is to add some flour. This is gonna help give us a thicker soup. Just gonna add a big heaping spoonful here. You can get the exact measurements in the recipe for us. We're gonna give that a mix. We wanna let this cook for about 60 seconds. You don't want that raw flour taste, so you wanna let it cook down for just a minute or two before we add the rest of our milk and our chicken stock. Now I'm gonna slowly add in our milk here. We've got whole milk. Add a little bit here, let it continue to thicken up. So we've got about 2 cups of whole milk. Give that a good stir. Come back up to temperature. Now I'm using this chicken stock here. I highly recommend making your own if you can. I want it to be easy and convenient for y'all as well. I'll do a recipe video here pretty soon about how to make your own chicken stock. It really adds another level of flavor. We're gonna go ahead and pour that in. And this is the base for the soup. I can go ahead and tell you right now, the smells here are amazing. Gonna add in this thyme. Another shot of this Grove beef rub. And then my secret ingredient. I did this one time for someone else's potato soup. I added some of this to it. The flavors were just delicious. I've made this every time. My wife doesn't like terribly hot stuff. It's not too spicy, but I really love adding some hot sauce, in particular, this Tapatio hot sauce. those Mexican flavors for some reason just really work with this. I know it seems a little different than what you're probably used to, but add a few dashes into this, it's gonna make the flavors so much more bold and give it a really good depth of flavor. It's not gonna make it terribly spicy or anything like that, but it just adds another level of flavor that I really prefer. All right, so we've got everything really ready to go. We're gonna let this come up to a simmer before we start adding the potatoes in. And from that point, we're gonna give it about 20-25 minutes until the potatoes are nice and tender. And then we're really about ready to go. It's almost done at that point. There's not a whole lot left to do, but make sure that you keep stirring this. With the milk in there, this can burn. You don't want to let it get scorched, so be sure to stir this every minute or so at least. You don't want this turned up too terribly hot, just a low simmer is all you need. Of course, right now it looks really thin, and it is. As the potatoes cook and as that roux starts to really build itself out, it's gonna thicken up the soup and it's gonna be the perfect consistency that you want for potato soup. All right, so this has come up to a little bit of a simmer now. We're gonna go ahead and add in our potatoes. I figured I'd go ahead and measure it out. So we're gonna have about 2.5 cups we're gonna add to this in total. We're gonna give that a stir, and we're gonna turn it down to a medium-low heat, something so it can just simmer. Give it 20-25 minutes, let the potatoes get tender. By that time, the soup will thicken up a little bit, and then we'll be ready to finish it. Okay, so our soup is really starting to get thick. The potatoes are done, they're nice and tender. This has been taking about 25 minutes here. So we're gonna go ahead and start serving this. Now, you can finish this with some sour cream if you'd like. I don't really think it necessarily needs it, so I usually will let individuals do it for their own bowl. We're gonna top it with some cheese, some of that bacon we finished up earlier. That's it. There's such a good depth of flavor here. This is just the best soup. It's so good. You can taste the thyme, you can taste the spices from that Tapatio hot sauce. The bacon on top is still nice and crispy. You know, if we had cooked it with it for 20 minutes, it would just kind of be soggy. Potatoes are nice and tender. This is such a good soup.
The full recipe can be found at crowfood.com, along with our rubs, merchandise, and dozens of other great recipes. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for watching.